You know, there's this one huge mistake that almost every single beginner trader makes. They jump right into live trading with real money without any real practice. Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're going to dive into the single most important habit that separates the amateurs from the professionals: practice. So really, you've got two paths you can take. On one hand, there's the beginner's path. It's all about jumping in, reacting emotionally, and, honestly, risking money you haven't earned the right to risk yet. But then there's the professional's path. It's about studying, practicing without any risk, and analyzing things methodically. See the difference? The pros train their eyes before a single dollar is on the line. And that professional practice, the secret sauce? It all comes down to one thing: backtesting. It sounds fancy, but it's really simple. It's just the process of looking at how the market acted in the past to find patterns that you can spot when you're trading for real. It's basically the trader's version of a flight simulator. Okay, so we know what backtesting is, but why does it actually work? What makes this one habit so incredibly powerful? Let's break down the exact skills you're building that give you a serious edge in the market.
Think about it. When you're looking back at old charts, you start to spot patterns. You learn to tell the difference between a little dip in an uptrend, that's a pullback, and a full-on reversal, where the whole trend is about to change. And the most important part? You do all of this without risking a single dollar. That right there, that's how you build real, rock-solid confidence.
And this quote, it just nails it. It's all about repetition. The more charts your brain sees, the bigger its library of patterns becomes, until spotting them is just automatic. It's kind of like learning a new language, right? At first, you're translating every word, but eventually, you just think in that language. That's what we're aiming for with charts.
All right, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty. I'm going to walk you through a super simple 6-step process to use TradingView as your own personal market time machine. So here's the game plan. Just 6 steps. It looks simple, and it is, but man, is it effective. Let's dive right into step 1. Okay, first things first. You're going to want to open up TradingView and pick what we call a liquid asset. Liquid just means a ton of people are trading it all the time, so there's lots of action to study. You know, the big names like SPY, Apple, or Tesla. Those are perfect starting points. Okay, chart's open. Now, hold on. Before you do anything else, zoom all the way out. You need to see the big picture. Is the market generally heading up, down, or is it just stuck in a range, going sideways? Getting that context first is, and I mean this, absolutely critical. All right, now for my favorite part, this is kind of the magic trick of the whole thing. You're going to scroll left on your chart. Keep going, until you land on a spot where you have no idea what happens next. This is so important because it gets rid of that hindsight bias, you know, where everything looks obvious after the fact. This forces you to think like a trader in that exact moment. Okay, so you've traveled back in time. Now, from this present moment, start drawing. You're looking for those key levels. You know, support, that's a price floor the market just can't seem to break, and resistance, which is the ceiling it keeps hitting. Oh, and also mark out any of those choppy sideways zones. Think of these levels as price magnets. The price is just drawn to them.
And now, pause. Seriously, just stop and look at everything you've marked. Based on what you see, make a call. What do you think is going to happen next? Is this trend going to keep running? Is this just a little dip, a pullback? Or is the whole thing about to reverse? Actually say it out loud. Commit to an idea.
Okay, prediction made. Now for the reveal. Move the chart forward, just one candle at a time, and see what actually happened. Were you right? Wrong? It doesn't matter. The point is to learn. And as you're doing this, start looking for those classic chart patterns. Like see a big move up and then a little downward channel? That could be a bull flag, a sign it might go up again. Or maybe you see a W shape at the bottom. That's a double bottom, often a sign of a reversal. This is how you take stuff you read in a book and see how it really plays out. So there you have it. That's the method. But how does this one simple habit, this one little practice, actually transform you from a beginner into a pro? Let's talk about that journey. And just to give you some perspective here, we're not talking about looking at 10 charts a week. Professional traders, the ones at big institutions, they are looking at hundreds, sometimes thousands of charts every single year. That's the kind of repetition it takes to build real mastery. And your own journey will probably look something like this. At first, you're just building the habit, right? 20 minutes a day. But then something clicks. The patterns start to jump out at you. Your analysis gets better and your confidence grows. And then eventually, you don't even have to think about it. You just see it. You develop a real intuition for the market. Because that's really the end game here, isn't it? The whole point is to train your brain to process all this visual information so fast that when you pull up a live chart, in real time, you instantly know what's going on. You can read the story the market is telling you.
Okay, so we've covered the why and the how. Now let's talk about the most important part, how to actually make this stick and turn it into a consistent habit.
And here's the best part. You don't need to dedicate hours and hours to this every day. It's all about consistency. Seriously, just 20 to 30 minutes of focused chart time every single day will compound into some pretty dramatic improvements over time. It's amazing.
And don't forget, this is absolutely the safest way to get your practice in. You get all the learning, all the skill building, all the deliberate practice, but with zero financial risk. It is the ultimate training ground, period.
So, the real question is, are you ready to start training your eyes to read the market like a pro? If you want a little help getting started, we've actually put together a step-by-step guide with everything we've talked about today. You can download it to keep on hand while you practice. It's the perfect way to continue what you've started here.